In today's episode, we are recapping day 2 of IBM Think. So there's so much happening yesterday. It's tough to narrow it down to just a few things, but four things really stood out that were just mind-bending. Number one, uh, there was a great presentation by IBM Chairman Ginni Rometty on where you can operationalize getting new talent that has data science and machine learning and AI experience. She highlighted three examples: a returning parent with IBM's tech reentry program, where they look for people who were very successful before leaving the workforce for any number of reasons. The example cited was a woman who wanted to be a full-time mom for a number of years, found that after her kids were grown, she wanted to re-enter the workforce, had the technical chops, the aptitude, and was able to re-enter after essentially what sounds like an intensive boot camp to get her skills more up to date, but still functioning mind. So the second was veterans. Looking for people who have transferable skills, who are just leaving or just exiting the military, and getting them into the civilian workforce, but still letting them use the discipline and the experience they had in the armed forces. And the third, of course, is any kind of minority population, like persons of color, people of different ethnic and religious backgrounds. The example cited was a pipeline of charter schools that IBM runs, in essentially taking over really poor performing really poor performing public schools and turning them into tech charter schools that they can then accelerate the growth from your standard 4-year high school diploma to a 6-year program, which you also get an associate's degree and then immediately enter the workforce. Working for, obviously in this case, IBM. So really good presentation there on where we can all be looking to get new talent, especially if we're not able to either find or, in some cases, afford the existing top shelf talent out there, rather than trying to poach talent from other competitors, be able to grow our own. The second was by Hyundai Card, which is the credit card division of Hyundai, CEO Ted Chung, who was talking about the way they're doing personalization. And what was fascinating was not that they were doing that, because that's relatively straightforward, but the way they were using artificial intelligence. At one point, he said, very briefly in his presentation, we're doing personas, but not in the way you think. We track personas for multiple personas per person. I was like, per person? And he went on to say, you are a different person when you're at work, when you're at home, when you're out playing sports, when you are at the bar with your friends, and instead of assuming that you are going to behave the same in each environment, they have multiple personas that are context dependent. And thanks to artificial intelligence, to machine learning, they're able to keep track of that. And that was one of those moments like, wow, that's would take some building to do, but that makes complete logical sense that you would want to be able to be more granular in your messaging to somebody, in your chatbots and your text messages and everything, with your interactions, to say, this is where you are right now and what you're doing right now, and this is how our product or service can help you do those things better. The third was a segment, again, from the chairman's keynote on digital transformation, which it's still very buzzwordy. But Chairman Rometty said something very interesting. She said that digital transformation, as the process of helping a company become digital first, is sometimes a prerequisite of AI. If you look at a lot of the popular literature about digital transformation, a lot of people are talking about how AI helps you achieve digital transformation, and she said that's not always correct. In a lot of cases, if you use AI to power a digital transformation, you will in many cases be using new technology and new techniques to automate or make more efficient the way you've always done stuff. And so you won't reap the full value of AI, as opposed to the much more intensive, lengthy, and expensive process of blowing up the existing old processes and building them from the ground up to be digital first, which is requires a lot more effort, but can then reap the full transformative value of AI by saying that instead of just making old stuff go faster, it's doing things in a completely new way. It's sort of the joke of trying to put a motor on a horse as opposed to reinventing and re-engineering a car. So that was I thought a refreshing take on the way that to think about digital transformation and digitization of organizations. You have to reimagine that first. Which was actually also the topic of a long, in-depth conversation I had with one of IBM's distinguished engineers and master inventors yesterday, Dr. Mandy Chesel, about how she, as someone who has more than 50 patents to her name, how she finds new opportunities to innovate, to invent. And we got into a long conversation about looking at how customer feedback all circles around something, but it's no one's asking the next logical step question. So how do you find that? Part of it is experience, part of it is imagination, part of it is seeing where things are going, and part of it's knowing the technology and what you can and can't do with it. But she was very helpful. One of my favorite reasons to come to shows like Think are those one-on-ones where you get to sit down with a subject matter expert and just ask your burning questions to somebody who actually has the answers and has built a lifetime career out of making use of those answers. So it was very helpful. The last one, and this is not relevant to marketing yet, was a quantum computing session on current applications of quantum computing and where it's going. And it's too long to get into the explanation of it here, of the technology, but they said that digital twins, the idea of taking of anything and you have a digital representation of it, you have a digital twin of a coffee pot or an airplane engine, and be able to simulate and run exercises on it, is the hot use of a lot of what's happening in Internet of Things right now. Quantum computing, the use case they're looking at is creating digital twins at the atomic level. So a digital twin of a pill or a cell or something microscopic, but fully represented, that allows you to run simulations, real accurate simulations of the world, representing it at the atomic level, as opposed to just sort of guessing what a compound might do when it reacts to something else. You could model the actual electrons and things. And there was an interesting line in the presentation that said that digital twins at the atomic level may let us answer the most pressing or the most important question of all human civilization, which is, what is life? If you can simulate with accuracy and fidelity life itself, you may discover what actually causes life. And that was one of those moments where, like, wow, this could radically change how we understand everything to work. If we could finally say, like, this is what life is, this is where, using digital twins and quantum computing, this is where your soul comes from. So fascinating stuff. Today, I am looking forward to I'm doing a boot camp myself, of an intensive on the new offerings in Watson Studio with a 2-hour workshop this morning, and then a bunch of stuff today. So looking forward to all that there is to be enjoyed here at IBM Think. As always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. We'll catch up with you tomorrow for the Day 3 recap.
Want help solving your company's data analytics and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.